broody hen underneath her. She's sitting on some eggs that we marked. These are from the farm, so that's how we know that these are fertilized eggs, because they're at the farm. They're not Carondelet eggs here in St. Louis. So she's just gonna be sitting on them. Little tame chicken. At least she's not pecking me. And so in 21 to 23 days we'll be hatching some chicks. So let's see if she'll put those underneath her. Yeah, that's a good mama. There you go. There you go. All right. So we'll see. Mama. This is why I don't bring the farm eggs to you guys, because I'll show you right now. See this egg, and you see that it's not marked? Well, this egg was laid today, and those eggs are the ones that she's sitting on. So sometimes they go, there's enough room for another chicken to lay eggs here, and so this chicken will just keep taking any fresh eggs and moved underneath there. That's why it's important that you have to pick them up daily. So we've got one, and this isn't marked right here, so we've got two. And let's see, marked. See how many eggs. There's one back here. Yep. And this one's, oh, there's another hen underneath there. See this one? Here's the tail. And here's so there's two chickens right in here. So this is why it can get kind of weird. That one's trying to lay, and you get it all messed up or whatever. So this one is the one that's actually trying to, this is the one that's sitting. The one back there is trying to lay, I think. I'm going to take the one that's laying out, just to give them some more room, because I gotta do some chicken changing. Hey, little Gracie. So this is center, so I'm going to move this back, and then I'm going to put this nesting box in front so they don't get confused. See? Because this is the nesting box they've been using for everybody to lay eggs until that one decided to hatch some. So now I just got to make a little bit of modifications so that everybody will lay in that one, and then I don't have a pile up in here. It doesn't really matter when you're on the farm every day. They'll get used to it, and you know, it's not that big of a deal. But we're about to go out of town, and so we just got to make sure things that, you know, are appropriate and you know, well laid out for the chickens while we go. So I'll do that, and I'll show you. Go. So I'm gonna put this egg in here to incite the others. That's where they're gonna lay, and that's okay. And then that's behind there, and they can get out and all this other kind of stuff, and they're protected. And that way, this can be the main laying boxes, so we can have, you know, these go in there, and inside this one to lay, and then that one back there can, you know, continue to sit in peace. It doesn't mean that somebody's not going to try to go in there and lay, but that's not a big deal. But that's why it's important to gather the eggs every day on the farm. Sitting underneath a hen like this is not that big of a deal, you know, for a day. But if they've been sitting underneath a hen for about 3 days, then and they're fertilized, and that's not good. These eggs aren't fertilized because there's not a rooster, so you're just basically setting these up to rot. But normally it takes, you know, more than, if they're fertilized with a rooster, normally it takes about 3 days for these things to start germinating, start making, you know, blood vessels and a baby chick inside, and so, you know, that's why it's important to gather the eggs every day. But these eggs here are from St. Louis. They're not fertilized, and so we don't have to worry about that. Those eggs are from the farm underneath her that we brought from the house, so those are fertilized eggs. Those eggs will hatch. If these eggs in St. Louis, let's say a chicken just started sitting on them, they just go bad because they're not fertilized. But those are. So it takes a certain temperature, about 3 to 5 days, for the germination to start in the, you know, blood vessels and chick to start growing. Other than that, as long as they maintain under, you know, room temperature, then they won't germinate or anything like that. So, all right, I'm just gonna leave this one in here for Sally, Jesse, and Raphael. This is your new nesting box. Thank you, Carol. And then we'll leave Crooked Beak to tender business. Alright, thank you. Alright, so here we are at the farm. And I got another one sitting. This is a Barred Rock cross. Anyways, this is a very good mama. Watch. Ouch. Pick the hell out of me. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ouch. Sometimes they peck you and then twist. But, yeah. Anyways, so this right here is if I can't gather the eggs every day. I don't know if this is happening. I don't really know how long she's been sitting on here. Ouch. So, so that's why y'all don't get the farm eggs. These eggs I know are fertilized. She's been sitting, I don't know how long. Ouch. So I don't want to give you eggs that may have possibly been sitting on. I don't know why I keep doing that. But anyways, so this is a good mama. Anyways, that's that. Alright, so you guys ask, well, how do you know if you crack an egg at the farm if it's fertilized and you don't know if it's sitting? How do you know if it's good or not? Well, this is what you do. You break it in a little bowl, and you look at the yolk. And that right there shows that you probably shouldn't eat it. You can tell it's already starting to germinate and all this other kind of stuff. Now this little thing right there, that little circle right there, that's really not that big of a deal. You know, you can have that, just only this, and the rest of the yolk look fine, and that's not a problem. That was actually this egg. It's going to get cooked. It's not a big deal. But this, I mean, I guess you could still cook it and eat it, but I don't, because like that's starting to germinate. But hopefully they all look like this, and then you can eat it. And so if you crack the egg and it looks like the yolk looks like this in the bowl, then you put it in here. If it looks like this in the bowl, then you chunk it. If it looks like that in the bowl, they're still good. Alright, the chickens are due to hatch any day. These baby chicks. So let's just take a peek and see. Hear them clucking? No, I don't hear any peeping, and I don't see any movements or cracks, so we'll just check back every day to see if they've hatched yet. This is exciting. Alright, so yesterday we were looking to see if there's any chicks hatching. And chicken. So there's one hatching. You can see that one is obviously hatching. Beep, 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 beep. Yep. And if you look right there, that one's hatching too. So it's real important that we keep these other chickens away from them. And let them do their thing in peace. So it's about 24 hours since we have the hatching. We've got 6 eggs, 6 hatches. We still got about 4 more eggs left, so that's great. I added a little bit of water. I took them out of the pen because it's just really hot here, and I just want to give them more space. And but anyway, so you see the 2 hens, actually they decided to sit. The babies are already eating some feed. We got an egg here, and an egg here that still needs to hatch. Also have some water, and that way the hens can, you know, aren't so hot in that little thing in the prior box that they were on. So when they first hatch, they're really wet like this until they dry out, and then they look like the cute little, that's right, little beep beep beep, cute little fluff balls like so. And then they'll get underneath their mom for heat and stuff like that. So if you're hatching these in a If you are hatching these in an incubator, they need about a temperature range of 97 to 103 degrees and humidity about 50 to 55 degrees. Ideally, you would want to increase the humidity to about 65 degrees before, otherwise the chicks will, if you don't increasing the humidity, just make sure that the chicks don't stick to the egg or the eggshell as they're trying to hatch out if it's too dry, because they're wet and the eggshell is really dry. They will stick to it and then they can't break free and they'll die. But I prefer to let the hens do it. If you hear how they cluck and stuff like that, they'll alert the chicks of, you know, where the food is, where water is. They'll teach them how to do that. I like to put a very you want to see? Yeah, egg. A very thin pan of water in there because the chicks can drown if it's too deep. Probably gonna add, you know, a bigger bowl with water for the chickens that the chicks can't get into and drown. But that's water for the chicks, and that ground up feed. I also put some right here for the chicks to eat. Anyways, so there we go. And it's all nice protected. It's got wind flow, airflow, and we'll get what the final count is earlier, but I'm real happy with this. See that hen's trying to steal that egg from the other one. Anyways, these hens will just kind of, you know, be together and you know, raise each other's chicks as their own, and the chicks will probably, you know, go back and forth in the pen. Yeah, I'm real pleased.